So I want to welcome you to my show on Periscope, where you guys know me. I think a lot of folks know me right now. Indonesia, a lot of folks know me right now because of what I'm doing with New York Scope Week and Periscope Summit. But I also do a lot of interviews, and I try to bring good content and interview folks that are doing stuff that's really, really innovative and fun and exciting. So hey, Sina. And I wanted to introduce you guys to, hey, What She Said from Toronto. What's up, guys? I got interviewed by What She Said 167 in Canada last week. So, boa tarde, Marcelo. Tudo bem? So, my name is Kathy Hackle. I am the host of Scope News. I also have a social media marketing and digital PR agency. Hey, from Dallas. I'm Longhorn. And I also am the director of New York Scope Week and Periscope Summit. So, other than that, I want to share with you guys something really cool. So one of the things I try to do, guys, is share information about what's going on in live streaming, how people are using it, trends, how brands are using it, how folks are using it. And one of the things I came across was actually an interview, a TV interview that was done with a comedian in Wisconsin, in Madison, right? Wisconsin, am I correct?
Yep, you're right.
Madison. And he has a new comedy show on Periscope called Up Periscope that is very funny. And he's like a really cool dude. And I reached out to him and I said, you know what, I'd love to have you on my show and just talk about what you're doing and how you're using it and what you're seeing and why you're doing this and just have fun. He's really funny. So anyway, I will, I want to introduce you guys to, let me show the camera, to Nate Chappell. So Nate, can you say hi?
I can say bonjour, although it's Nate Chappell.
Chappell. Oh, sorry.
we left the French a while ago. It's all right. It's understandable. It makes me sound fancier. Thanks for having me on, Kathy.
Yeah, Nate. And can you tell folks a little bit about what you're doing and how you're using Periscope and your show? And you guys, if you guys have questions, feel free to type them in. I'll try to get to them. Like, I know that for maybe some of my followers, Nate's fairly new. So, and invite people. If you want more people in here, just invite some folks, and it'll be a really, really cool little conversation. So,
yeah. So what I'm doing is I run a small independent video network called Wolf Out Television. So Wolf Out TV, wolfout.tv is the name of the website. And we do a lot of scripted, pre-recorded content, but I've always wanted to do a live show, a live talk show, and there's something really great about doing a live show where you get to test out jokes, and it just has a momentum that keeps going, and when it's over, and you move on. So I was looking at Periscope, and I saw a lot of people not really using it for anything very clever. A lot of people just kind of, as you guys know, just look at each other and say what's up as people join. And I wanted to do something a little less boring than that. So what we do a 20-minute scripted, produced show every Wednesday night from my iPhone.
That's awesome.
Mostly comedy. Thank you. It is awesome. It's fun.
How long does it take you to prepare? Because since it's scripted, which is different, I've seen lots of comedians out there using it in different ways, but this one's scripted. Someone missed the introduction. You see a comedian periscoping. Yeah, can you introduce yourself again, Nate?
Again, I am Nate Chappell at Wolfout TV on Periscope and Twitter. Wolfout.tv on the internet.
Awesome. So yeah, tell folks a little bit, since it's a scripted show, which is very different than what a lot of other folks are doing on Periscope, how long does it take you to prepare? You and I were talking about that you were scouting locations. So just kind of let's talk a little bit about how you prepare.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm scouting locations professionally for a different thing entirely, actually right now. But the show itself takes me, I've got a pretty good formula laid out. I do all of the writing, so I have kind of gaps to fill in. So we have a standard format. What we do is we have a monologue in the beginning, like a normal late night talk show. I do a brief monologue, then we have a promo, and then we do a comedy segment in the middle, like a sketch basically. And then we have a guest on every week, and we play a game with that guest eventually. So the actual preparation of it, the actual scripted part, is probably the first half, and then the rest of it, we kind of go a little freeform. But I spend about 4 hours, 5 hours on Tuesdays, preparing, writing, and everything. Then I spend several hours just walking around thinking of jokes. other than that. But
and someone was asking if, since it's scripted, is there any interaction? Like, is it only hearts, or like people interact and like tell each other? Like, how do you handle that?
We've worked some interaction in. There's a little challenge with a show that we try to keep moving with the delay, as you know, that we lose. It loses momentum if we honestly try to interact too much at this point. But so the first half of the show isn't very interactive. We have somebody, monitoring the feed and telling me if anything super interesting is happening. But and then the second half we get a little more interactive. Although the way it's set up, I'm so far away from the camera that I can't really see much of the interaction at that point. But then for the game segment is when we usually try to get more interaction. So we'll do a game like a Pictionary or a charades or whatever, and we'll have the audience suggest things, and someone's monitoring that. I think, there's going to be a Mad Libs segment coming up soon that will be very interactive. So we're trying to figure out a way to work that in a little more while still keeping that scripted, pre-planned momentum.
Yeah, we've got a comment here saying that they've noticed several comedians like Howie Mandel, Tom Green. There's also Jason Stoken who are using it. But I think the difference with yours is that it's a scripted show, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is absolutely the difference. We really are trying to use this new format with a very old, familiar pastiche, like with basically I grew up watching those, David Letterman, loved David Letterman. I love that whole format. I love the whole outline of it, but I wanted to find a way to bring it into the present day a little bit. And there's challenges with that as far as trying to use that old form in this new thing. Like the fact that we're scheduled, for instance, is actually kind of works against us in some ways, but it's been interesting to try to get people on board and get people to figure it out a little bit. People that wouldn't necessarily have gone to Periscope, people around here. So that's been really interesting. But there are definitely inherent challenges in trying to do a scripted, pre-planned show in this medium, but we're trying to embrace those. Like, it's all one shot. So we do scene changes and everything, but what we do is we pull a laptop in front of the screen so that and show promos that I've made before. So that we have 30 seconds or a minute to change the scene behind the laptop. And so we do all that quietly and everything. And so we really try to produce it and make it seem like it's, really being cut like a normal show. That's
a normal show. Well, it's funny that you do this because a lot of folks, like a lot of conversation that we're having on Periscope is that a lot of us are not watching TV anymore. We're really, hey, Lori, we're really just kind of like turning to Periscope in the evenings. So I think it's really cool that you're taking this approach. Someone was saying like there's no interaction. Very innovative what you're doing.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah. No, I was saying that
I got too hot inside.
Yeah, you're gonna die of heat exhaustion in the van, in the car.
And everyone would have seen. That would have been good news, though, huh?
That would have been a funny show. No.
Yeah, hilarious.
No, but what I'm saying is that a lot of us are having a conversation about like not even turning to TV anymore. Like we just go to Scope at night. We watch Scopes and then we go to bed. It's like, so I think it's really cool that you're actually trying to embrace this.
Yeah, I'm trying to embrace it and trying to like develop and I think I've actually introduced a lot of people to Periscope that wouldn't have been introduced to Periscope, that never would have checked it out. I'm kind of bringing the more analog, the TV people in, and they're discovering something that they've never heard of. The people at the news station, when they interviewed me, they had never heard of Periscope,
So how did you get the interview?
So
did you like pitch yourself?
What's that? Yes, I absolutely pitched myself. Yeah, I've got my brother's a PR guy in town, so I bounce a lot of stuff off of him. But we had a hard time actually getting anyone to pay attention for a minute because around here, Periscope isn't much news. I don't think people know what it is. So they were really hesitant because they didn't know what I was talking about. But finally somebody listened and they were all impressed. And the news station actually has started using Periscope on their, with their broadcasts now, as a lot of people have.
Okay. Awesome. Well, for those of you guys that are jumping in and are, feeling pensive, I know you left me, but that's okay. It's okay. I still love you. My name is Kathy Hackle, and I am the host of Scope News, and I love interviewing people about what they're doing on Periscope. And I have Nate Chappell here. So let me go back to you. Can you tell folks a little bit about, the cat, like how much fun are you having?
How much fun am I having? We're having a whole lot of fun. It's been really great to get you know, I play. I have a show. My biggest show that I have is Cat Chat on wolfout.tv. That's a show I shoot with another colleague of mine, Mike. We and that requires a lot of time. There's a lot of planning, a lot of scripting, a lot of editing. So that's kind of ends up being a slog at times. The shooting is fun, but then the editing gets a little tiresome. And this has been really awesome to have something that we can just pump out every week that has a deadline every week that I just need to finish it, and whatever happens, happens. And if it's not, if something goes wrong, something goes wrong. It doesn't matter. And we can just, it's a good exercise in releasing into the universe. Whoa, here's a semi, guys.
Whoa. That's why I love Periscope, because it's like anything can happen. Like I'm interviewing you and my phone rings, whatever. Yeah, you guys, and yeah, if you guys have any questions about what Nate's doing, feel free to ask them. I mean, my friend Jason Stoken does comedy too. He doesn't really do kind of what you do. He does some charades, and he's got a cat. So, but it's a little different from what you're trying to do as far as like having an actual scripted show on Periscope, which I think is different. And one of the questions I want to ask you, Nate, is how do you handle, like, since you're not monitoring it, like, do you ever stop like to handle trolls? Because it can be really funny.
I don't. In fact, so what we do is we put the show on, then we take an hour off before we watch it, because otherwise I'm too hard on myself. So then we watch it an hour later. The crew does, and then it's like that's when we see trolls. That's it, when we see people, but we tend to just ignore people because we don't have time to deal with it, and we're doing something slightly different with it. So we tend to ignore trolls, and then they just seem to go away.
But you could have a lot of fun with it too,
We could. Yeah, we haven't actually had too many. There was one guy that was insulting me, basically. That's really all that's been negatively levied at me so far. But I'm sure that will change.
Yeah, as the platform gets bigger. What do you think is going to be next for folks on Periscope, comedians on Periscope, or anyone on Periscope?
It's really interesting to see where Periscope is going. I've seen some new kinds of shows pop up and a little more.
I'll be right back. Keep talking.
Okay, we'll do. It's not scripted stuff necessarily. That seems to be more people seem to be doing stuff with a bit of a voice anyway, a bit of a perspective and a gag, a framework anyway. So that's been interesting. It also, honestly, sometimes I get discouraged when I go on there and just see what people are tuning into. Like seeing what really gets the hits. Sometimes that really is sad to me, because we work so hard on our show, and there's just people that just put the word boob in there, and that's why they're getting,
they're gonna get a lot of people if they put a boob in there.
Yeah, maybe I should just start calling my show Boob.
Yeah, I think that's you would definitely get a lot of people in there.
And you
get a lot of people in there for sure.
Yeah, and my still frame could just be my toes. I'll put some nail polish on. I'll dress them up.
What is the point or theme of your show? Is there one?
The point or theme? The point is fun, is what the point is. The point is that we all just need to laugh more, and we all need to work harder to make jokes. That's what I decided. We just want to make the internet a little less stupid. Honestly, that's it. We wanted to make when we first started watching Periscope, we were annoyed with how much useless stuff there was on it, and so we were like, you know what, nobody's doing something really cool, let's do something really cool and different and weird. And we had actually already had plans to make like a late night talk show type of thing, and boy, it's a lot easier to do it live, because then you just you can't get caught up in the editing.
Yeah, and it's interesting because one of my friends who's in here just said that it's interesting that you're providing kind of content. You kind of give hope as to what's going to be next with Periscope, which I find really interesting, because you're doing something different. Does Nate feel this will change the nature of reality shows on TV? I'm not sure. Yeah, quick. Well, that's a question for you from Linny. So I love you, Linny.
I don't know. I think I don't think so, because the reason people like reality TV is not because people like reality. It's because people like how the stories are edited. That's all produced. If you really had to watch every hour of those people's days, you would die. You would just
Yeah,
die.
I am boredom. I agree.
So like what people really like is the edit, you know? That's what they really like. So I don't think so. I think reality television will keep going the way it is. I mean, I think more and more with advancing camera technology, I think reality shows will be more and more taped by the people themselves, so that you will have more 24-hour access to people, and then they cut a story out of that. I think that's probably what's going to happen more than anything. But as far as reality TV, I don't think that's going to move on to Periscope exactly. I mean, I guess it already is sort of reality TV, but
yeah, there's a very much of like a Truman Show kind of element to it in some ways. But you know, who are like maybe some of the people that you're watching that you think are cool, that you like? I mean, I'm not going to go into the ones you don't like because I don't want to get you enemies. But you know, like who do you like? Do you like it?
You know, honestly, everything that I found by random chance and haven't really. Oh, the Hummingbird guy! I love the Hummingbird guy.
Redfish! Yes, I love Redfish too.
Yeah, that was amazing. I discovered him pretty early on, I guess, and I thought I was just trying to figure out how he was faking it. That's what I was basically doing for the first, 3 times I saw him. I'm like, come on, there's no way that's actually happening. Yeah, that's an amazing use of it. I really love that. I like the people that use it for news. When I forget when the Baltimore protests were going on, I watched a bunch of coverage from Periscopers during that, and that was really interesting to see it used that way. I like it behind the scenes. I think that's probably the smartest way for shows that are on TV to use it, when they use it behind the scenes or like backstage or about to go on and stuff. So I think that's what I like is when I see somebody using it for something a little innovative and a little special that maybe you couldn't get somewhere else or whatever.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because like now that I've been doing this, I tend to do interviews and stuff. And right now we don't have the possibility to have 2 screens. So I kind of try to find the best way possible. And I try to interview scopers, like whatever it is that they're doing that's interesting. Like I'm interviewing you. I think I'm interviewing someone that's actually using it in a very strange way. She's a sex worker. She's not a prostitute though. She's not a prostitute. She's a dominatrix. So I'm thinking of interviewing her, which I find really interesting. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a whole other world. But like someone, and I love this person, Pensive, said, I don't need another television. So, but I try to bring a little something else to interview scopers, actual scopers that are doing cool stuff. Africa just told me to interview the dominatrix. Should I interview the dominatrix, guys?
Yes. Heart.
Heart party. So yeah, I mean, what do you, content here is so different. Yeah, content is very different in Periscope. So anything else you always want to share with folks? I think it's great that you're going to have local guests because it's going to help you market yourself locally as well, right?
Yeah, and that's something that we're kind of trying to grab onto too, is that, as more people get the power to broadcast and get the power to make media, I've noticed a trend of people more and more pretending like they're not from where they're from and trying to be more anonymous about where they're broadcasting from. But I don't know, I love Madison so much, and I really want to make comedy and make content that reflects the voice of Madison and our accents too, and I really want, that's something that we're really, really interested in, is getting local artists and local people involved and getting I've already got several people that are involved in the various projects that I do that just do it for fun, and building that community is something that's really, really important. And this is something that lets me speak to, the people that I consider to be my community every week and make something for them every week and get them involved. And so, yeah, it's been really exciting. I really hope everybody checks it out. We got it tonight at 7:30 Central Time, 8:30 Eastern.
And I think the folks from the Pass the Talent or Scope Talent need to feature you. I
think so too.
Yeah, that'd be fun to watch you and be included in that thing, because they're always looking for artists of any kind. Anyone with an artistic talent.
Yeah, great. I'm in.
Awesome. And can you tell folks your Twitter handle and your Periscope handle, because they're asking what your Twitter handle?
I assume you're asking for my handles. so loud.
Yes.
There's a lot of milk trucks going by right now. Okay.
So it's at Milk Truck?
Yeah, at Milk Truck, at Loud Milk Truck, .rumble. My Twitter and Periscope handle is at WolfOutTV. That's WOLF as in Frank, OUT as in Tom. And my website is wolfout.tv. And that's about it. We got a page on Facebook too. Look for up Periscope. Nate at wolfout.tv is my email address. So
What's your social
touch,
security number?
watch. What's that?
What's your social security number?
Social Security is 38. Whoa! You're not gonna get me again. Nice try.
I tried. All right, well, guys, thanks so much for joining me, Nate, for this fun interview. And yeah, thanks, Nate. I appreciate it. It was fun. So
all right.
We'll definitely put you in contact with the Pass the Talent people. I think it'd be really fun to have you there.
All right, great. I didn't hear any of that, but up Periscope. All right.
All right.